Sometimes building stuff is hard. You have these grand aspirations about something, and you envision all the work you're going to do, and how quickly it will come together, and how smoothly and wonderfully it will be, and how you're just going to fly through all of your tasks. And then you get started and you hit your first wall. Getting over that first hurdle seems so hard, almost too hard. So you decide that it's time for a small break, and you open your internet browser, and all of a sudden you've wasted an hour and a half scrolling on Instagram or TikTok. Your brain feels fried, and there is no way you're going to be able to stay focused enough to tackle that challenge. I have done this quite literally thousands of times. So let me tell you how I overcame it. I want to start by outlining the classic distraction loop. First, you start a task. Second, you run into something hard. Third, you feel emotions like frustration or stress, and then you follow up those emotions with overwhelm, dread, and hopelessness. Fourth, you justify that procrastination internally, and this puts you into a spiral where you have to go and get some dopamine via a distraction, and then you get frustrated that you aren't getting anything done, and now you need another dopamine hit, further preventing you from getting anything done. This further increases your frustration again, making you want more dopamine to counteract those continued negative emotions. And like that, you are stuck. Let me tell you 3 tips for dealing with this kind of situation, this procrastination loop. So the first tip is to learn to deal with the initial negative emotion. You have 2 types of emotions that you feel: primary emotions and secondary emotions. Primary emotions are your initial reactions, and secondary emotions are the way that you feel about those initial reactions, those primary emotions. In the previous example, frustration is the primary initial emotion. Feeling that frustration is okay as long as you can redirect it somewhere positive. Following it up with overwhelm, dread, hopelessness will lead to procrastination. Instead, embrace the frustration and redirect it into something else. My favorite one to do here is to redirect into ambition with a little bit of competitiveness. If this task makes me feel frustrated, it must be because it's a challenge. Most people would probably give up, so I want to keep going. I want to be better, and I imagine how satisfying it will feel to do something that most people would give up on. The second tip is to break the task down into smaller tasks. Once I redirect my emotions to a more positive place, I break the big task down so that it isn't so overwhelming. If my task is to code a new piece of functionality, then I break it down into an outline. I plan out the structure of my new functionality and I write out the stubs. Then I go back to each one of those stubs and I fill them in. If my task is to write a script for an episode, I create an outline for the episode, and then I go back and I fill in the parts of the outline that are coming most easily to my mind. I usually end up writing the middle first, and then I go back in and I fill in the beginning and end. Breaking tasks down like this helps me stay in flow because I can move from one part of the task to the next one effortlessly and seamlessly. The third tip is to check things off as you go. Give yourself just a little bit of feedback, and that little bit of feedback will help a ton. Just being able to see what you have done and what you still have to get done can be incredibly satisfying and motivating. For the most part, our brains like to complete things. Something that is unfinished will hang around in your head, so make your progress visible. It took me years to figure these things out and to realize that my focus problems were really problems in learning how to deal with my negative emotions. These strategies can help you manage the negative emotions effectively and reinforce the positive ones so that you can stay focused. I want you to write down below in the comments what usually distracts you and how you might apply this to help. Your comment could help someone else who struggles with the same distractions that you do. And please be sure to like and subscribe and have a wonderful day.